Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Heart Gold with only one Krogunk was yet another brutal solo run. Let's follow that up with a bad ability run. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon X with a team of only one Archen. Alright, this might be a hard one. So Archen is a really interesting Pokemon. It's a super high attack and pretty good speed fossil Pokemon from Gen 5. It's rock and flying type, and although it's not very tanky, it's good at sweeping. The problem is, its ability is defeatist. If it has less than half of max health, then its attack and special attack will be cut in half. Yeah, this is one of those runs where we're trying to see if we can win in spite of a terrible ability. By level up, we start with wing attack, so we have a decent attacking move, and eventually we get some great stuff like acrobatics and rock slide. I figure that acrobatics will be our best move for pretty much the entire run, although it requires that we don't hold an item to do the max damage. It's still going to be worth it most of the time. By TM, there's really not a ton that I'm interested in. Maybe Roost? I'm not sure. We kind of already have everything we want from level up unless I decide I really need something like Hone Claws. Let's just play a bit and find out. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I think we might lose this one. I was originally considering using its evolution, but I was worried that might be too good at sweeping, so I'm going to try with Archen instead. I'm just hoping that we can even make it to the Elite Four. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Archen. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Fennekin with Archen so that we can do the whole run with it. I name him Lance Archen because that's hilarious. I can't believe that actually fits. Our nature is naughty, so more attack and less special defense. I would have preferred less special attack instead, but I just spent half an hour re-rolling natures. It's really slow to do it in this game. I'm just gonna stick with this. Alright, so the early game travel's pretty easy just thanks to our stats being really good compared to early game first form Pokemon. I'm still fighting everything I run into though, since I want to get the levels early to keep our momentum strong. I figure the Bug Gym should just be a sweep with wing attack, and Sycamore will probably be easy too, but that Rock Gym seems to always give me issues. One good Rock Tomb is probably enough to drop us below half health and make us pretty useless, so I need every level I can get on my way. So believe it or not, but the Bug Gym was not a sweep. We were slower than Vivillon, and we actually couldn't get a one-shot either. We still won, but did you see how close we came to losing half of our attack? I get the feeling that our ability is going to make a lot of otherwise easy fights into kind of difficult ones. After that was Sycamore, and I thought he could be a problem because of Squirtle, but he just used Withdraw, so we were fine. I remember actually having issues with this guy when I did a Regigigas run in Pokemon X. That was kind of wild. Also, a little fun fact, I think I'm supposed to be picking from Gen 1 starters here, but the randomizer I used seemed to have broke it. What's your favorite Gen 1 starter? Female Nidoran, Hoppip, or Azurill? Let me know in the comments. I'm a Nidoran guy myself. Alright, we're now on the long trip to the Rock Gym. There are tons of routes on the way there, so I'm gonna be able to fight tons of trainers for levels, and you know I'm not passing any up. Rock doesn't resist rock, and we're also part flying, so that means we're gonna be weak to all of their rock moves. Now, oddly enough, we do learn some ground moves like Dig, but we can't learn them until we're past the Rock Gym, so that won't help us. We likely will just have to brute force that fight, but at least after that, we have to do the early fight with the fighting gym leader, then it's the actual proper gym leader fight shortly after that. Gyms 3 and 4 should both be easy, but man, Gym 2 might be a real problem. Let's just get there and see how it goes. On our way though, I took the Jaw Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. So here's me against the very first trainer in the Rock Gym. We do almost no damage to Relicanth with a critical hit, and then we go down in one hit. We literally can't get better moves for this gym than Shadow Claw and Rock Throw at this point, and this is with us holding a Hard Stone for more rock damage. I think I'm gonna really need to seriously grind before I could even get to the gym leader, let alone win this fight. So I level all the way to 28, and yet we still go down just as easily to the exact same Relicanth. Again, this is not the gym leader, this is the first trainer in the rock gym. The worst part is that I can't even spam double team at the start because Dwebble can use rock moves, and those knock me out too. I might need to be a crazy high level before I can beat this gym. I just gotta keep grinding. So next I get up to level 32, and now we're faster than Relicanth even after we get hit by Rock Tomb. But it doesn't matter because we still easily lose. I'm really starting to think that we can't win this gym below level 40. This is insane. After grinding for hours on end, we hit level 38, and we were doing exactly enough damage to two-shot Relicanth with Rock Throw. I was about to say it's time for rare candies because of how insanely slow grinding has gotten, but we beat the first trainer at least. I really doubt we can beat the gym leader though. Now I was worried the gym leader would still be a fail from us, but his first Pokemon is weak to rock, and his second one just doesn't have much defense, so we were able to win on the second try. The first try was a loss just thanks to us missing Rock Throw. I can't believe we're finally done this awful fight. Then, of course, in the weird extra fight you have to do with the fighting gym leader before the actual gym, we swept our team. They're fighting types, of course we were gonna win. Alright, I think we're past the worst of the early game now. We have 2 rival fights and 2 gym fights coming up, and I literally think we're gonna sweep all of them. Our rival doesn't tend to become difficult until later in the run, and we have the fighting and grass gyms coming up. I'm just gonna take off our held item and sweep them with acrobatics. There really shouldn't be any issues. Let's find out. So first is our rival, and we just sweep her team just fine. I don't think we'll have any issues with her until Victory Road. Next is the fighting gym, and obviously our hard-hitting flying type takes out our whole team like it's nothing. After that is yet another rival fight and yet another sweep. She's hardly any stronger than last time anyway. And finally, the grass gym where we once again sweep. No problem. Alright, with that done, we have a hard gym coming up. The electric gym. Because of that, I think that I want to go back and collect some TMs. I need to get Dig because I forgot to buy it back when I was in the right town for that. I'm gonna surf and get Roost just in case we really need the healing. I'll also pick up some leftovers for when I don't care about acrobatics being weaker. I figure that we can probably sweep the electric gym with Dig. I just want some extra stuff too if I'm gonna be doing some globe trotting. I hope I can get the TM for acrobatic too, that way I can swap between other moves and that one whenever I need to, but it's luck based with that. I have to answer a quiz and get a random TM every day, so who knows if I'll get the right one now. Anyway, it's the electric gym, the rival, and the fairy gym. Let's see if we can brute force our way through. Alright, I should have seen this coming. So first is Emolga, who's a one-shot with Rock Slide, but second is Magneton, and survives Dig because of its ability, and then we get one-shotted by Thunderbolt. I'm not really sure what to do about this since we can't get our hands on a focus band to survive it. I guess I could Roost to lose my flying type, but that only lasts till the end of the round, so it doesn't really help us. I think I have to level up until I can survive Thunderbolt. Ooh, this might take a while. What's your guess on the first level I can survive Thunderbolt at? I'm gonna guess 62. Well, after failing every level getting to 62, I thought I was gonna win just thanks to him wasting time on the turn when he could have one-shot us, but the problem is, Dig takes 2 turns, so he gets to heal, take a hit, then finish us off anyway. Well, you know what, in retrospect, I could have hit a different move on the turn he heals, then use Dig to get around Sturdy. Let's keep trying until he does that again. Well, there we go, the very next try and he does the exact same thing, so we easily took him out. His whole team just went down like they were nothing. Sucks that we had to level up so much before he started not using Thunderbolt every single turn, but hey, we're still below level 70. On our way out of town, our rival jumped us and I forgot to heal, but it didn't matter, it was just an easy sweep anyway. And after that is the fairy gym that we once again swept. I kind of figure a lot of this run is going to be like this. Either we get hit once and lose because of it, or we sweep. It's just the kind of Pokemon Archen is. Alright, I think things are about to get harder again. We have a rival fight and a psychic gym that probably won't be hard, but then we have the 3 Lysandre fights in a row, and I'm sure that we'll have troubles with at least one of them. I mean, I know that he has Water Onix, so Intimidate might really slow our momentum. I think we have good type coverage by Lysandre, but that doesn't mean that it'll be easy. Just getting hit once could make us too weak to win. Who knows though, maybe the sweeping streak will continue. So against our rival, we finally took damage thanks to Greninja finally being faster than us, but we held on to enough health to stay at full power, so we still swept her. We only have to fight her one more time, but that's in Victory Road. She might be really difficult in that fight. And of course, the Psychic Gym is a sweep too. I just relearned Shadow Claw, and they didn't stand a chance against it. Man, I really love that TMs are reusable from Gen 5 onwards. It makes for a lot more creative movesets and solo runs like this. Alright, the first Lysandre fight went great, because we are super effective against his whole team, and the only one faster than us was Pyroar at the end. I could have flinched and ruined it, or maybe missed a Rock Slide, but it all went fine. I think the next fight will go okay, but I do worry that more of them might be faster than us. So I was worried about them being faster than us now that they evolved most of their team, but we actually ended up being faster than his entire team. Total sweep. It was easy. But will Mega Water Onyx stop us in the final fight? Alright, so although Lysandre is still mostly a sweep, his Mega Water Onyx is a problem. It loses Flying type when it Mega evolves, so a Rock Slide isn't going to do nearly enough damage. I don't think that Acrobatics would be strong enough either. Maybe if I could get him to flinch off Rock Slides, then he would faint to Acrobatics. I'm gonna try a few times and see if I can get that to happen. Oh, well, never mind. I won on the next try not because of a flinch, but because he missed Aqua Tail, so we could just follow up with Acrobatics and win easily. It feels good to have such an easy time with Lysandre like that. Okay, we're getting close to the end of the run. We have to fight Sycamore, then a bunch of our friends. I don't think that any of them are going to be too hard, but sometimes I have an issue with the first two because you can't heal between them. But it still probably won't be brutal. The Ice Gym after that might be a problem. We might just sweep them with Rock Slide, but I could also see one of them one-shotting us with something like Blizzard or Avalanche. If any of them have Sturdy, then we could run into a serious issue, but I don't exactly remember what they have, so I guess we're going to find out. Yeah, Sycamore's entire team was a sweep. How much you want to bet all of our friends are a sweep too? Yeah, that's about what I expected. We outsped and swept them all. Okay, but the Ice Gym could be hard, right? Alright, so we almost swept, but the problem is Avalugg at the end can one-shot us with Avalanche. It's not the end of the world though, I'm sure I could just try a handful of times. We'll be able to win as soon as we get a flinch. Alright, never mind. This time he used Curse and threw the whole fight. We won no problem. That was crazy easy. Alright, well all we have left is Victory Road, so I went ahead and grabbed the TM for Earthquake. I figured that we're still going to want a ground move going forward, and that's quite the upgrade. Other than that though, I think I'm happy with most of our moveset. I think that the rival fight might be hard, and I'm not sure how the Water Elite 4 member is going to go, but other than that, I actually feel pretty good about our chances of at least making it to the Pokemon Champion. I don't know if I'll win, but I figure we probably could by level 100. Let's see how long we get stuck against our rival first, though. Alright, so Meowstic at the start is just a one-shot after it uses Fake Out, but the problem is Greninja is faster than us and gets us with a huge Ice Beam. That kicks in our Defeatist ability, so we can't get a one-shot. If I had a Quick Claw, then maybe I could Rock Slide my way to victory, but I don't. Even then, I guess it's probably not a one-shot and I would still need a flinch. I'm gonna get a few levels and see if we become faster, then it might not be too bad. So, I got up to level 85, and surprisingly enough, we're still slower and faint the same way. I really thought that 5 levels would be more than enough. Maybe level 88 is enough? We have 158 speed. I figure that would be enough. Wow, level 88 and we're still fainting the same way. Alright, level 90 must be enough. Nope, we fainted the same way. Although, on the good side, we're leaving him with a sliver of health. I'm gonna bump up to level 92. Even if we're slower, we can still two-shot him. I doubt I could win the rest of the fight with our ability kicked in, but who knows, it's worth a shot. Alright, so at level 92, we got our one-shot, but because of being slower, we lost most of our health. We have such insanely high attack, though, that we still swept the rest of our team. It's crazy just how hard we hit. Now that we're the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Well, our health is great, and our attack is absolutely insane, but we were still so frail that I could see us getting brick-walled by one super strong Pokemon with a type that we can't handle, like a water type that we can't seem to one-shot. Then again, I also think that a good chunk of the final battles are just going to be a sweep. I can't see stuff like the Fire Elite Four member being a serious problem. I don't think the Dragon one will be that bad either. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Fire Trainer Malva. I started with the Fire Trainer first because I figured this would be an easy one. We swept our way to Talonflame. It was faster and did a bit of extra damage when we missed, but really it couldn't hurt us, so the whole fight went fine. Second is Steel Trainer Wickstrom. First, we one-shot Klefki with Earthquake, we one-shot Scizor with Acrobatics, we get hit by a huge power gem from Probopass thanks to it surviving with Sturdy, and because of that, we ended up fainting against Aegislash when we only did half of its health and damage, then went down to Iron Head. You know, I don't think I actually need Acrobatics in this fight. Scizor might be a one-shot with a Rock Slide. I'll try holding on to something like Leftovers to see if it changes the fight. Well, that's not good. Next try with Leftovers, and Scizor isn't actually a one-shot with Rock Slide. So we take a huge Iron Head and never ended up beating him. So we need to not hold an item so that we can win with Acrobatics, but then we faint later in the fight. I don't like this. So level 97, I tried over and over again, thinking that with a double team or two, I could get him to miss. Weirdly enough though, after 4 tries, he simply used a different move with Aegislash, doing less damage, so we survived and took him out. I have no idea why he did that. Third is Dragon Trainer Drasna. Her whole team was actually just a sweep with no problems, but we have the water one next, and I could see us easily losing that fight. Fourth is Water Trainer Cybold. Here I was worrying that this might be a hard one because we're weak to water type, but nope, just a sweep. Man, I really hope the Pokemon Champion is a sweep. Finally, the Pokemon Champion Diantha. Yep. Just swept her whole team. I guess the Steel Trainer really was the hardest endgame fight. It's crazy how smooth most of the Elite Four went. That was a fun run. Most of the game was really fast, but in a fun way. There were a few moments when we just suddenly needed a lot of levels, but that's to be expected when you're a glass cannon. Really, I'm just surprised at how little our ability activated. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next Saturday, like usual, with one that you guys picked overwhelmingly on the Patreon poll. Pokemon X with only gift Pokemon. Yeah, the first time I've ever done 2 Gen 6 runs in a row, but I mean, you guys picked it in the poll. Hardcore. As always, I'm looking at your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time. Alright, I don't have a whole bunch of time today to kill, but I have already started on that Pokemon X with only gift Pokemon run that you guys picked in the poll, overwhelmingly, by the way. I kind of figured it was gonna win by quite a bit, because it did really well in the poll where it was up against Pokemon Black with Maractus. It did really, really well in the Maractus one, but it didn't beat Maractus, of course. So naturally, when I did this poll, it absolutely dominated. And I appreciate that you picked it because, man, that run is breezing by so far, and it's always nice to have a little bit of an easier work week, especially after April, where I streamed every single day. Thanks to everybody who's been going through the April Streamathon playlist, by the way, and just watching those videos. I'm happy that so many of you guys enjoy those. I understand that the majority of you are here for the Pokemon challenges, but I'm still really proud of my streams and my Let's Plays because I've been doing those for 15 years or something now, whereas I've only been doing these challenges for like about 5 years now. Maybe a little closer to 6. That's crazy to think. It doesn't feel like it. Time flies. But I need to get some, what time is it? 5 p.m.? I need to get some 5 p.m. breakfast in me because I've become completely nocturnal again. I hate when this happens. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Until next time, have a nice day.